Hello, my friend. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine that every day is like a blank canvas. In your hand, you are holding a brush. That brush is your choice. Every morning, when you wake up, you begin to paint your day. The things you do, the decisions you make, and the way you think and act, these are the colors you use. The question is simple. What are you creating today? Maybe you don't always think about life this way. Maybe your day feels automatic. You wake up, check your phone, go to work, feel tired, and repeat the same routine again and again. But even in those quiet moments, you are still making choices. You are still painting something. Many people ask me, Jack, what is the secret to success? And they expect a big answer. Something complicated, something that needs special talent, perfect timing, or a lot of money. But the truth is much simpler than that. Many years ago, I heard something from a wise man, and I have never forgotten it. He said, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And failure is simply a few small mistakes repeated every day. Think about that carefully. The difference between success and failure is not always talent. It is not always luck. It is not only about who you know. Very often, it is about what you do again and again in your daily life. For example, one person wakes up and spends 1 hour learning something useful. Another person wakes up and spends 1 hour scrolling on their phone. The time is the same, but the result is different. One small choice, repeated every day, can create a completely different future. This is how life really works. Not only in big moments, but in daily actions. And today, I want to share 10 simple disciplines with you. 10 things you can practice every day. Not once a week. Not only when you feel motivated, but every day. Because the person you become is built one day at a time. Let's begin. The first thing you need to improve every day is your attitude. I know some of you may think, attitude? That sounds very basic. Everyone talks about it. And that is true. Many people talk about attitude. But let me ask you something. If attitude is so simple, why do so many people still lose opportunities because of it? The reason is very simple. Attitude is invisible. You cannot see it like you see money, skills, or results. But people can feel it. When you walk into a room, people feel your energy. When you speak, people feel your mindset. Even before you say anything, people already have a feeling about you. For example, imagine two people going to a job interview. One person walks in with confidence, stays calm, and tries their best, even if their English is not perfect. The other person feels nervous, keeps thinking, I am not good enough, and speaks with fear. Even if they have the same skills, the result will be very different. Why? Because of attitude. When I started Alibaba, I went to 35 investors to ask for money. 34 of them said no. Some of them were not polite. Some of them laughed. Some told me my idea would never work. And I want to be honest with you. That was not easy. There were moments when I felt tired, when I felt doubt, when I wanted to stop. But I made one important decision very early. I decided that other people's opinions would not decide my future. I listened, I learned, but I did not let their words control me. That is what attitude really means. It is not pretending that everything is okay. It is not ignoring problems. It is choosing how you respond to those problems. In your daily life, this happens all the time. Maybe you make a mistake at work. Maybe you cannot speak English well in a conversation. Maybe someone corrects you and you feel embarrassed. In that moment, you have two choices. You can think, I am not good enough, and stop trying. You can think, this is a chance to improve and continue. Here is something very simple you can start today. Every time something goes wrong, ask yourself one question. What can I learn from this? Not, why is this happening to me? Not, who is wrong? Just ask, what can I learn? For example, if you forget a word in English, don't feel bad. Ask, what word did I need? Then learn it. If you make a mistake, don't stop. Say it again, better. If someone gives you feedback, don't take it as an attack. Take it as information. This one small habit can slowly change your attitude. And when your attitude changes, your actions change. When your actions change, your results will change too. That is how real growth begins. The second thing you must work on every day is your communication. And I want to tell you something that many people don't really understand. Communication is not about talking more. It is about listening better. Most people think that if they speak well, they are good communicators. But in real life, the best communicators are not the ones who talk the most. They are the ones who listen the best. Think about your last conversation. When someone was talking to you, what were you doing? Were you really listening, or were you thinking about what to say next? Many people don't notice this, but they are not listening. They are just waiting for their turn to speak. Real listening is different. It means you give your full attention. You look at the person. You don't check your phone. You don't interrupt. And you try to understand not only the words, but also the feeling behind the words. For example, if someone says, I'm tired, they may not only mean they are physically tired. Maybe they are stressed. Maybe they are worried. A good listener tries to understand that deeper meaning. This is a skill. And the good news is you can practice it every day. In any conversation, try this simple habit. When the other person finishes speaking, don't answer immediately. Wait for 2 seconds. Just stay quiet for a moment. At first, it may feel strange. You may feel like you need to speak quickly. But when you wait, something interesting happens. You understand more, you think more clearly, and your answer becomes better. Also, the other person feels something important. They feel respected. They feel heard. And in today's world, this is very rare. Many people talk, but very few people truly listen. When people feel understood, they trust you more. They open up more. Your relationships become stronger. Whether it is with your friends, your family, or your work, communication becomes easier and more natural. This is why listening is more powerful than talking. So practice this every day. One conversation at a time. One small pause at a time. Because people don't follow the person who talks the most. They follow the person who makes them feel understood. The third thing is the one that separates people who succeed from people who only dream, is self-discipline. But I want to explain this in a very simple and honest way, because many people misunderstand it. Most people think discipline means using willpower. They think it means forcing yourself to do things even when you don't want to. They imagine waking up early, pushing hard, and fighting against their own feelings every day. But this way does not work for long. Willpower is like energy. You have a limited amount each day. Maybe on Monday, you feel strong and motivated. You wake up early, you study, you feel proud, but after a few days, you feel tired. You start to say, just today, I will skip. Then one day becomes 2 days, and slowly the habit disappears. This happens to many people, not because they are lazy, but because they rely only on willpower. Real discipline is different. It is not about force. It is about design. It means you create a system in your life that makes the right action easy and natural. For example, if you want to practice English every day, don't wait until you feel motivated. Instead, prepare your environment. Before you sleep, put your phone next to your bed with your English app already open. So when you wake up, you don't need to think. You don't need to decide. You just open your phone and start. This is what removing friction means. You make it easy to begin, because starting is the hardest part. Another example. If you want to read more, don't say, I will read 1 book this week. That sounds big and difficult. Instead, say, I will read 1 page. Just 1 page. That feels easy. And when something feels easy, you are more likely to do it. This is very important. Start so small that it feels almost too easy. 5 minutes of practice, 1 short sentence, 1 small action. Because when you repeat a small action every day, it becomes a habit. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation. You don't need willpower. You just do it. That is the level you want with your habits. A small action done every day is much more powerful than a big action done once in a while. Many people study English for 2 hours one day and then stop for a week. That does not work, but 5 minutes every day can change everything. So remember this idea. Discipline is not about pushing harder. It is about making things easier to start and easier to repeat. Self-discipline is like a muscle. You don't start by lifting heavy weight. You start small and you build strength over time. If you stay consistent, even with small steps, you will become stronger than you think. The 4th thing you must work on every day is your relationships. And I mean all of them, your friends, your family, your coworkers, and the people you learn from. This is very important because no one succeeds alone. Every successful person you see has people around them who support them, guide them, and grow with them. But here is the problem. Many people only think about relationships when they need something. They call someone when they want help. They send a message when they need a favor. And even if they don't say it directly, people can feel it. They can feel when they are only being used, not truly valued. The real discipline is different. You need to invest in relationships before you need anything. This means you show care even when there is no reason, no benefit, no reward. For example, you can send a simple message like, Hi, I was thinking about you today. I hope you are doing well. Or, Congratulations, I saw your success. I'm really happy for you. These messages are small, but they mean a lot. They show that you care as a person, not just when you need help. You can also do this in daily life. When you talk to someone, give them your full attention. Listen carefully. Don't look at your phone. Don't rush. Just be present. This builds trust over time. These small actions only take a few minutes, but they create something very powerful. They build trust, they build respect, and they build real connections that last. This is much stronger than simple networking or collecting contacts. Here is a simple habit you can start today. Every day, reach out to one person, not to ask for anything, just to connect. It can be a message, a short call, or even a simple thank you. The fifth discipline is your mindset, and more specifically, how you think about your own abilities. This is very important because the way you see yourself will decide what you try and what you avoid in life. Many people have a story in their mind about their limits. They say things like, I am not good with technology, I am bad with money, I cannot speak confidently, or English is too difficult for me. These thoughts feel very real. They feel like facts. But in most cases, they are not facts. They are just stories we created from past experiences. For example, maybe you tried to speak English before and someone laughed at you. Or you made a mistake in front of others and felt embarrassed. That one moment stays in your mind. And slowly you start to believe, I am not good at English. But one experience does not define your ability. It only shows where you were at that time. I want to share something from my own life. I applied to Harvard many times, and I was rejected again and again. If I had told myself, this means I am not capable, I would have stopped trying. But I did not see it that way. I saw each rejection as information. It showed me that there was a gap between where I was and where I wanted to be. And a gap can